A will. You need to talk about first what it is you're trying to accomplish. And can it be accomplished in a way that would be more efficient, in a way that avoids having to go to court? There was a famous book in the 60s, I remember it well, How to Avoid Probate. And probate was like this dirty word. No one wanted probate. Everyone was afraid of probate. And I don't think there's anything scary about probate. And so if you're not involved with surrogates court proceedings, fear not. And I have found that all of the clerks in the surrogates courts are so helpful, and they want you to learn along the way. And so you'll get a phone call, counselor, you did this wrong. Counselor, this has to be done over. Counselor, we need this from you. I mean, they don't want to have to do that with everyone, but if they know you're just starting out or you're new in their court, they will help you. But what about from the family's perspective? This is going to take so long, and we'll talk about timetables and such. Not necessarily. I've handled matters that have been so swift, and other matters like where there's a bank account already naming beneficiaries that have taken longer, that the bank wouldn't just release the money. So, every case is different. And so, do I need a will? Well, how about this one? Hey, can you write my will? Well, can you? So the answer is yes or no, or I don't know. I mean, which is it? If someone goes to you, can you write my will? Well, of course you can if you're admitted to the bar. You can. If you know nothing about wills, does that mean you ought not, you turn down the matter? I mean, there has to come a time when you do your first one. So if you make a decision that you'd like to have a wills or estate practice, then do it. And you have a good foundation from your studies. You can talk to a colleague who does have an estate practice and start learning that way, consulting with a friend. I have a very dear friend from high school who went on to get an LLM in tax, and he focuses primarily on estate work. And I remember when I started out almost 30 years ago, having him, and this was his idea, actually. I was referring him a case, and I said, I really don't know how to do this. I'm not sure I can do this. I mean, I can write the will, but what if I leave something out that's important? This person has a lot of money, small children, a lot of things going on. I can start looking up all the statutes and etc. He said, no, let's do it together. And so we go to the person's house together. And I say, he's a tax specialist. He's going to, help out with the tax issues. And that's how I really started handling more complex estates with the help of a friend. And even if you have a quick question on a very simple will, if there's someone you can turn to in the beginning, that's fantastic. But you have to start somewhere. But in the meanwhile, you have maybe a client that you've done a different kind of work for. Hey, can you write my will? If you have the experience, yes, assuming you have the time and inclination. But if you say, no, I have someone I know who can, do that for you. Okay. It really depends on what you're doing, right? If you're with a firm handling one sort of thing and they don't want you taking on different kinds of work, or if they have someone they refer those types of cases to, maybe you have no choice. But if you're off on your own, or if you're in a partnership or a firm that wants you to bring different kinds of work, again, every case is different. So I get that a lot. Hey, can you write my will? That's probably the most common question I've gotten in my career. You give someone your card and different comments, of course, but one tends to be, do you do wills? That's something I've heard so much. Another, what happens What happens if I die without a will? That's another question I've heard a lot. And that's a very interesting question to me, because it sees people worry more about what happens if I die without a will